Hey YouTube, I've been asked by a couple of people for a while if I'll do a video on my tattoos, and so I've finally got around to it, and I've put that with my square to it, and now I'll get on with the video. I have liked tattoos for a long time. They're partly it was the forbidden aspect because Jews don't get tattoos. It's specifically forbidden, and I don't know. It's always people I've kind of looked up to have had tattoos. Probably starting from a character in, I think it was Captain Pugwash who had tattoos. But it's been one of the things I've always liked is I've always thought they were cool, but not for me. And then in my teenage years, I really started to plan out and decide on one that I wanted, and I had it all planned out, and I'm really glad I didn't get it now, because although I'm sure I'd have enjoyed it, I think I've made better choices. There's the old joke, which is that tattoos, you 10 years ago was an absolute idiot, so you 10 years from now will look back on the tattoo you got now and know that back then you're an absolute idiot. I think it's a joke from Robot Chicken, to be honest, but it makes a good point that people's tastes change over time. So when you do get a tattoo, make sure, one, it's permanent, two, something which you can always look back and at least think it's a memory of the time. I don't think some things I think are just a little off. I know most of the tattoos I know that people have really got are either girls' names, specifically for girls or their partner, and just band lyrics. I've seen so many people have band lyrics they regret. On the other hand, I know some people with band lyrics and words and writing and even names that they absolutely love. So it's always going to be a personal thing. I wanted big Celtic vine work showing out all the things in my life, and eventually I suppose my whole body's going to be showing the things that have happened in my life, because my tattoos are a lot of memories and stuff associated with them. I expect that will continue as I get more. So the first tattoo I ever got was this one. I'll just bring it in close for you to see. It's based off a Pictish carving of a wild boar. It's probably my favourite, I would say, but I don't have that many body modifications, so it's not hard to have a favourite. It also was my first. I got it done at Sith Tattoo Studios in Norwich, and they are fantastic there. I really recommend them. I actually went to every single tattoo parlour I know of in Norwich, and I brought them all the design, and I explained what it was about, and I just got the vibe from the place, which I actually think is really important, because your choice of artist is a big thing with tattoos. And most of them were keen and seemed interested, but it was definitely much a job, whereas at Sid Tattoo Studios, the first thing is they told me, I was asking so many questions about various stuff, I was a bit nervous. They said, look, if you're not absolutely certain, don't get the tattoo done. And anyone who's telling you not to give them your money is probably not out to scam you. And actually, it's Rich at Sith that came up with a good portion of this design, because I brought it in and wanted it in just in black and white, and he heard the story behind it, the motivations, what I was desired from the tattoo, and suggested I do it as a cave painting, and he was spot on. And listen to your artist is all I can say. The reason behind the tattoo, it's a memory of my first hunting trip, which is a long story, probably deserving of its own video, except it has its own magazine articles and posts on a forum called Bow Hunting Talk. If people really want to go and look, they can find me, but if you're not into the bow hunting side of things, you probably won't find it that interesting. But I am a jammy bastard, and I always will. All the guys at bowhunting.net and Bow Hunting Talk, they're fantastic blokes. And if you do want to learn more about archery or talk about archery with them, I heartily recommend it. Yeah, it's a memento of my first hunting trip to Texas, and the eventual plan is for there to be a whole sleeve and covering the rest of my torso, probably, every single species I go after with a bow. There's a little bit of sympathetic magic, a bit of harking back to the ancient Britons, the ancient cavemen ancestors, that their blood still runs in pretty much every European's veins. The indigenous population was absorbed by migrant waves as it went on and eventually produced Northern Europeans, and I think people should embrace it more. One of the things I love about Ray Mears is his exploring of what possibly the ancient Britons did, the ancient pre-Celtic ancestors of Britain, when we were still hunter-gatherers, Chalolithic age, when we just discovered copper. There's fascinating stuff, and living in Norfolk, I have a lot of it with Grimes graves and all sorts of finds, which is good fun. And so then I got another body modification, which I'm not actually going to show you because it would involve me taking my trousers down. I have a scarification on my left thigh, which is probably my most impulsive tattoo. I got it as a bet with myself that if I passed my exams, I would get that done, because sort of I was scared of getting it, and that would have been kind of unpleasant as well. It's a scarification. I got it done by a friend of mine who's a professional, not a professional, doesn't do it as her sole source of income, but she's a very good scarification artist, and in fact she's very pretty, and I kind of fancied it. It was also part of the motivation. And yeah, I'm still happy with it. It's probably also one of the reasons I'm not showing it is because it's healed up very well, so it's kind of hard to see. I don't actually scar that well, and it's a flint arrowhead, which I love. My flint napping is one of my favourite hobbies. And so now on to my current work in progress sleeve. I wanted a sleeve, and I knew I wanted a sleeve before I knew what I wanted on the arm, and I actually considered going for the Celtic vine work and knotwork, and I also considered going for some of the Maori influences, but a friend of the family's Maori, and when I was younger I had spoken to him about tattoos, and I'd also been watching some of the videos from Maori tattoo artists, which were really good, and both he and the people in the Maori videos that I watched all said the same sort of thing, which was, this is our cultural heritage, and we like that people love it, but it's ours, and it's a bit of cultural appropriation to take something else's, take it out of its context and use it in a way. It's not without respect, because people do it because they think they're beautiful and they love it, but without understanding. I mean, there's a chap in Norwich walking around with a woman's Maori tattoo on his chin, and never tell it to him because he's heard it 1,000 times. But yeah, I considered doing that, and I considered doing the Celtic thing, which I could have been, it could have worked, but I got a really bad winter blues in Manchester, and I realised what it was the TA cutbacks had meant I wasn't going out half so much as I used to, and I really just missed being in the outdoors, being in English countryside and English forest, and I missed Norfolk. And so this sleeve is eventually going to be coloured, actually next week hopefully, and then there's going to be a background behind it. When I first got it done, it was just the outlines, which you can see in some of my older videos, and everyone said, oh, just keep it as the outlines, it's wonderful and simple. And then I got the shading done, which you can see now, and everyone said, keep the shading, it looks beautiful, black and grey, and I know it's going to look fantastic with colour and fantastic with a background. So what you can see is ash, and this one is hawthorn. This one is black poplar, which is a tree growing in my granddad's farm, a much beloved tree that fell down. This is alder, which is all around where I work right now. Oak, I'm sure you recognise. And there you can see birch, and yew, and lime, or linden. I think it's known as linden tree in America and Germany. And willow, and copper beech, and there is rowan, and there is blackthorn, or poplar, or blackthorn, or sloes. Sorry, slip of the tongue. You can check out my video on sloes and sloe gin, actually, I'll link them below. But these are all native British trees that I love. I can tell you where to find them, I can tell you how to use them. They are something that's part of the knowledge I have. They're something that when I see them I feel so much better, and being in a woodland or up on the moors or on the coast, on the seaside, walking about, just feels fantastic. This is to remind me to not miss it, and so that wherever I go I'll always have a bit of English woodland with me. So this has been probably my longest YouTube video that I haven't split into 2 parts. Thanks very much, YouTube. I hope this has been an enjoyable guide to my tattoos, and let me know if you think they're absolutely daft, or if you think they're cool, or don't. I don't mind. Thanks very much, YouTube. Bye.